Hello, my name is Razzle, I stream on Twitch, and here's the video. There's a lot of guides that cover labs, but the majority of them only cover high loot spawns, extracts, and raiders, which is only half the battle. The other half is eliminating other PMCs on the map to allow the ability to loot and make profit. Also, there seems to be a huge misconception on what it takes to be good on labs and the type of gear you should be running. You see the big dogs of Twitch running the M4s, the HKs, the Zucks, the Gen 4 Assaults, and running M995, which is $1,400 a bullet, but you don't need to run that stuff to wipe the map. I've done over 1,800 plus raids alone to swipe, and a good percentage of them are on labs due to my attraction of PvP that EFT brings. I don't have to travel an extreme amount of distance, and I get that instant action in a controlled environment that is consistent without having to worry about the time of day or the weather. Through my experiences, I've developed 3 generalized guns, at which are viable options to have the ability to take out anybody on the map, and recommended armor that does not cost an arm and a leg to wear. Before we get into specific gun builds, I am personally not a fan of any type of magnification or scopes inside labs, because labs is such a close quarter map. That doesn't mean that scopes are bad on this map, but I'm in love with the simple red dot that allows me to aim on target at my enemy. As you'll see, a recurring theme is a PK06. Each of these builds can be modified to your liking to excel in your abilities if needed. That being said, the first class that we'll be covering, which is the cheapest, is the Hunter Vepr. The gun is purchasable through the market and or Jaeger for 30 to 46,000 rubles. Since it's a single tap weapon, I would highly recommend to run the 10 rounders. My chosen reticle is the PK06, and that is either mounted by the SVD low mount or the attachment called the TC01. The overall build averages around 59,000 rubles. For ammunition, I would recommend either M61, M62, or M80. Each of these rounds have high enough damage to drop anybody. The next class/gun build is the VSS or the AS-Val. Both these guns are identical with the exception of being represented in different mastering categories. Also, another statement is that the AS-Val is more modifiable than the VSS, but that doesn't matter because modifying these weapons are a waste. A prime example is looking at these two builds. One has around 176,000 rubles worth of attachments, while the other one is roughly around 100,000 rubles of attachments. Excluding ergonomics, the difference in the recoil is truly nothing, and that is why it's a waste because things like this eat into your profit margins while running raids. A VSS will cost you around 90,000 rubles. Additionally, because you as a player are more prone to run into a player or raiders wearing high tier armor, running 30 rounders is a must, which costs around 30,000 rubles per mag. For ammunition, I would recommend SP-6. The purchasing point is around 600 to 650 rubles per round from the market. I would not recommend buying SPP because you're paying around 900 rubles per bullet for a slight increase in flesh damage, which doesn't matter when the gun just spits. The negatives or problems you'll run into while running this gun is the bullet drop is dramatic, so keep engagements close for the most part. Also, tier 6 armor class will eat this round, so aim and shred for the lower tier armor level between the chest and the head. The last class, which is the meta, is the M4s and the HKs. Both guns I use are built with suppressors because the HK has a better recoil stats suppressed than not suppressed, but I use the suppressor in the M4 to allow me the ability to see what I'm shooting at while firing. If you want to reduce the cost and the recoil of the M4 build while having somewhat of a visibility while firing, you'll need to replace the suppressor with a jailbreak, an ST-6012 flash hider, and a 9.4 scope mount with the PK06 on it. With these additional parts, it will reduce the amount of muzzle flash the gun produces, giving you a better visibility while firing. The suppressed M4 build costs roughly around 293,000 rubles. The jailbreak M4 is roughly around 277,000 rubles, and the HK build is roughly around 250,000 rubles. Recommended mags for these guns would be either 30 rounders or 60 rounders, with the benefit of running a larger mag would mean less reloading. For ammunition, I would recommend M995, M855A1, or M856A1. M995 being the most expensive but effective, starting around 1,400 per round, and M855 and M856A1 having less damage but starting around 400 per round. The negatives or problems you'll be running into while running these guns is that you've invested a lot of money and you could potentially lose these to people that are running much cheaper loadouts than you. I'm not saying don't run these high tier guns, but I'm just saying have the understanding that you have invested a lot of money into this run and you need to get a return on your investment. Now onto body armor, and this one's quite simple. Anything that is armor class level 4 and above, including armored rigs. Personally, on stream and off stream, my go-to body armor is the 6B13 Assault, which is armor class 4. I can buy an unlimited amount from Ragman for about 64,000 rubles. The reason why I buy this armor is because it gives me just enough protection to kill a raider or PMC with the possibility of upgrading. If you are comfortable with your ability to be faster than your opponent and you want to make maximum profit from each raid, going to with cheaper armor compared to the Gen 4 assaults and the Zucks allows you the ability to make greater profit, including helmets, armor class 4 and above. You can wear the airframes, the fast MTs, the exfils, but you're paying a minimum of 100,000 rubles just for the helmet alone, and on top of that you're buying extra parts to protect yourself from honestly low tier raider weapons and pistol runners and labs. A helmet that I use daily is the U-Latch, which is armor class level 4 and it costs around 81,000 rubles from Ragman. I'm also not a fan of face shields because of the smears and the smudges around the outside of the screen, which can possibly obscure your vision. Now, if you noticed, I mentioned only helmets that allow the ability to wear headsets, and that is because sound is important in Tarkov. I won't go super in depth about this subject in this video, but hearing someone before seeing them allows you the ability to prepare yourself for the next engagement. Here's an example of what happened in a raid. I saw an enemy player between the glass offices wearing an Alton helmet, and after getting into a bit of a scuffle with him, he retreated into what I call reverse elbow, and because he was wearing a helmet that reduces your ability to hear sound, it allowed me to engage him at a faster pace due to him being unable to hear me until the last second. Also, things like opening doors, closing them, ADSing, reloading, slow crouch walking on metal or wood are sound cues that give people's positions away, and helmets like the Alton or Killa helmet take away the ability to hear those types of sounds. Once again, I'm not saying that these helmets are unusable, but setting yourself up for success requires you to use every aspect of Tarkov to your advantage, and sound is one of those aspects. Lastly, because we're talking about viable loadouts for labs, bring grenades. Not only are they lethal, but can be used as crowd control to push enemies off their angles, potentially giving you the upper hand in a battle. This is demonstrated with two examples, one seeing it from both perspectives. Here is the second example. In both demonstrations, the grenade placement allowed me the ability to push the enemy back, allowing me to make the new angle and be the aggressor. To wrap things up, the beauty of investing just enough to kill someone allows room for error because you're not dropping a million plus into each loadout when you're running the meta. You can lose a couple raids and have that one successful raid that makes up for everything that you lost, which puts less pressure on you to perform well on every raid. Also, finding those big ticket items like the Loadouts yields actual profit instead of breaking even when you're running the big boy gear. Oh, and disclaimer, the market changes every day and that is because of us, so prices of weapons, parts of ammo change daily, so please don't flame me. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your thoughts about this video or future videos you'd like to see in the comment section below. I also don't forget to stream every single day on Twitch around 9 PM EST.